I think it's at least double what it's been in the past. And as we expected, there's a new militancy in the gay movement, and it's here today.
To each his own, you know? I ain't prejudiced nothing like that, but when they come in the streets and messing with normal people, then that's something different.
I'm surprised to see so many women in the parade. That after all, you can recognize the men more or less. But from looking at the women, there must be an awful lot that we don't know about.
I have two beautiful children, both boys, 7 and 9 years old. If they grow up to be gay, I'll love them as much as I love them now.
I think they're nuts.
Well, we have to fight for what's right on earth, the Christ's rights on earth. And we're here, we want to help the homosexual to live the right way, the way Christ tells, the way of the Bible. We're sympathetic. We understand they have a problem, but we want them to be cured. We don't want them to go on living in sin.
Gay people are learning that they are oppressed no matter what their jobs are and what their roles are in society. That when there are laws passed against gays, they're passed against all gays.
We represent the Human Life Amendment group. We're fighting abortion. Well, I support Anita Bryant, so that's exactly how I feel. I'm not for gay rights.
As far as you can see, honey, it's all the way back there. We got it together this year. No more Dade County for us, honey, no more.
This act discriminates from them certain jobs. Just like a heterosexual who might molest a child, he will be discriminated for minding my children. Gays rape children. Gays are in the Port Authority picking up boys and girls all the time.
They got to do more than just come out when it's easy like this on Gay Day. This is, a sign of gay power. What we can do if we all get together. But we so rarely do this. We got to do it more often.
I think it's disgusting. If they want to live that way, fine, but why push it down my throat?
The only way sometimes you can get certain rights is by demonstrating, and this is probably the best way to demonstrate.
I'm 70 years old, and when I was growing up, I never saw this. And thank God I have no children of this age that would see a thing like this.
The reason that we're staying in the church is to protest its policies against gay people. The Archdiocese of New York especially, since they've always been instrumental in defeating the gay rights bill.
We respect men's rights, but homosexuality is condemned by Christ in the Bible. It's an unnatural way of living. And while God loves the sinner, he abhors the sin of homosexuality. It is a sickness, and we believe there's a divine physician also. There's Christ and there's religion. And if more young people, all ages, heterosexual and otherwise, were taught what God wants and the way we're supposed to live, but they're not getting it in the schools today.
Gay rights now! 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 Gay rights now!
Do you mind talking?
No. I came just because it was interesting, human interest. I'm sympathetic to the gay movement. That's all.
Okay.
Very interesting people around.
Are you having a good time?
Sure.
Are you angry about what's been happening to gay people?
Angry? Yeah, angry, but not really vocal about it, I would say.
You have an opportunity now. Are you gay?
No.
Do you have any curiosity about it?
Yeah, naturally.
You think most people do?
I think most people do in one way or another. I have a lot of gay friends.
Well, I think when any group of people is oppressed, all people are oppressed. If any group loses its rights, we all lose our rights. Now, as you can see from my sign, I'm not gay, and none of my family is, but yet it is a group who have every right to have their opinion, their belief, their private lives, just the way anyone else should. And I felt very strongly about it. Also, I was aroused by the disgusting campaign that this woman in Florida conducted. She had all the ultra-right rabble and the kooks in the world there, and it was a very backward and reactionary thing. Then, of course, as so many San Franciscans were, I was very appalled by the murder of the young man. That's why I came.
I believe in human rights. Every mother has a child. That child, she does not know whether that child is going to be a homosexual or a heterosexual. She shouldn't ever disavow that child. She should love it from the moment she gives it birth to the moment she or the child dies. And none of us can choose. We grow up to a certain stage, and somebody somewhere in our genes has laid down something that has decided ahead of our birth what we are going to be. But I would say just as God decides whether you're going to be a boy or a girl, he decides whether you're going to be a homosexual or a heterosexual.
Say that we hope we get my rights. That's
Yeah,
all
I hope I get right, because I won't go back in the closet. You know, it's like, you know, suicide. It really is.
It feels like it kills you?
Yes, it would kill me. I don't think it
When I
would.
was
It
planning
will.
on getting married, and I don't know if I should get married now.
Yeah.
Really? Today's changed your life that much? It's just really changed my life. I don't know if I should get married now because I don't think I'll have my rights.
And for the reason that I believe that whenever there's an attack on any group in our society, we all must come to their aid. And it's a question of human rights, not gay rights. And I feel that the environment in our country today is going a little backward. There's been attacks not only on gays, but on women's rights, on the abortion, that new legislative bit with the Supreme Court where poor women are going to be denied abortions where rich women could always get them.
To support our gay friends and all the people that we know who are gay, who we personally share some space and living space with and find no different than ourselves and are entitled to the same rights that we are given.
Are you lesbian?
Yes.
How would you feel if your child came out to be, is it a boy or girl?
A girl.
How would you feel if she was a lesbian too?
That's okay. Feels okay.
How do you feel about being here today with her?
Oh, I feel really good about it. I like her being here. It's nice energy, and she's really enjoying it.
And I'm here because I would like to support civil rights for everyone. I think, you know, this is something this country has fought for a long time, and why let it go down the drain now? Why did you come here today?
Well, we believe in human rights.
Are you lesbian?
No.
Are you lesbian?
No.
Why did you bring your children?
Well, I believe in human rights also.
Do you understand what gay rights is about?
No.
Are you having a good time here today?
Yeah.
Yeah, but even walking around, like you'll notice that ratio of men to women is really, must be 20 to 1 or 20 to 3 or something, because it's just, there are just a lot more men around. And that's, well, it's bittersweet, but it's okay.
Where are you from?
Los Angeles, California.
Are you gay?
No, I'm not gay. I'm here to see what gay people act, how they act.
And what do you think so far of the parade?
I think the parade is a success. I think it's going to have a great impact on the country, but in the wrong direction.
Why is that?
Because to me, this means that these people are going in the wrong direction, for they're not healthy in a sense.
But I don't know how you mean that.
Well, when your sex hormones are balanced properly, you're not a gay person. When your sex hormones are balanced properly, you will not find this kind of growth.
But what does that have to do with the civil right of gay people
to
live
this I admire.
where they want to?
If they can do what they wish, but you have to understand that this is an accelerating genetic process that's taking place across the country, and it's not a healthy process. Freedom, yes, but not to be healthy is another thing.
But if everybody isn't freed, that means nobody is, in a way, doesn't it?
I agree with that. Concept is fine. Rona Barrett made it very clear coast to coast. They have their right to their day. But if the country goes this way, it will be a sad day for the country.
Well, gay people don't want the country to go this way. They just want to be themselves and have rights like everybody else.
I agree with the right aspect of it. This has been said by many people.
And we're not saying that everybody is gay.
I'm not saying that either. I'm here to observe, and I say this is a bad trend for the country, but you have your rights. This is freedom of the constitutional right. This I agree with 100%.
Oh, yeah, I like this parade a lot. There were a lot of spaces in it, and it didn't feel all smashed together. It was like you could pick out different kinds of people, and there were all different kinds of people, teachers and nurses and all kinds of contingents that made me real proud. Yeah, they were standing up and saying what I believe, which is that you have to come out of the closet and you have to stand up and fight, because they're going to kill you anyway, one way or the other. And this way feels a lot better than the other way. We're just cowering away and hiding, and you don't even know who your friends are. And this way, you know who your friends are, you know who your enemies are, but at least the friends are right there, And I like that.
I feel wonderful about this parade. In all the years that I've been in them, since the first anniversary in New York, this one has that wonderful balance between a certain seriousness, but there's also fun to it too. People are having a good time.
I'm here from Florida, and I want to find out how these California people enjoy orange juice. And of course...
Hello. No sound. The sign says it, huh?
very moved by being here?
I am. I really was. I was crying before. I got really turned on by seeing how many people, you know, were brave and weren't cowed by the tremendous amount of repressive things that are coming down in the media and the kind of headlines and things that are making people feel uptight.
I tell you one thing, if there is violence here today, you can rest assured that the media will jump on it and seize on it, because it's sensational, and that's what people will want to see. It will be on Channel 2 and Channel 5 and Channel 7 and Channel 11.
I can probably speak for all the kids in the United States and my brother even. We all believe in equal rights for kids.
All right.
I think that should be made into a law, too.
Maybe we could spend some time together, but I can't say, 'cause I don't know if it'll last that long. I don't know if it'll last that long. Well, it's a dizzy sensation that makes me feel like singing. And without consultation, I know that soon we'll be winging, flying off to somewhere. Won't you come with me? No flowers, give me no lines, just let it flow. Well, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, maybe we could spend some time together, but I can't say, 'cause I don't know if it'll last that long. I don't know if it'll last that long. Well, it's a dizzy sensation that makes me feel like singing. I know that soon we'll be winging, flying off to somewhere. Won't you come with me?
I live up in the country, but after I was seeing the headlines up there in the newspaper, there was no way that I could stay up there. I had to come down. It really scared me. I talked to my mother. I asked her how she would have voted in Miami. She said she didn't know. She didn't like my little sister sitting on my lap. It makes me really angry. I was thinking of stealing her address book with all my relatives and their friends' names in it and sending them cards. You know a queer too. You know, next time you hear a queer joke. I mean, they could prevent me from seeing my brothers and sisters, and they've tried to in the past.
I'm out of the closet everywhere, work, home, everywhere, and it's the finest feeling I've ever had in my life.
Marching for gay rights, I feel like there's a strong connection between third world oppression and gay oppression. Poor people in this country, I think we're all feeling the same thing.
We're just strictly observers.
Are you going to march in it?
No, I'm not. Sorry. Monitoring, keeping people starting, marching. He's watching the sides.
Yes, keep making everything funnel right into Market Street.
Just watching. I'm standing up for my rights.
I think it's beautiful. It's absolutely marvelous. We have straight people here, we have children here, we have families here, and we have a marvelous show of strength and unity from the gay community.
What are you doing in the middle of the summer, though, in San Francisco?
Oh, I think there's no time like the present. March for human rights.
Santa Claus for human rights?
Santa Claus and children for children's rights. And I think that there's a movement in this country to repress the sexuality of children, and I think that that should be fought against.
For this Christmas, what would you wish for the children of the world?
Tolerance for all lifestyles.
Thanks a lot, Santa Claus.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
So I'm going to be the gay consciousness for everyone in San Francisco today. I'm going to be the perfect fool, the Parsifal, the risen prince, so that everyone can walk in freedom when the day has passed.
Now, there's the women's contingent, and the motorcycles are going to lead off the front of the women's contingent. There are at least 2 bike clubs, the Dykes on Bikes from the East Bay and from the city.
are both here, and we're going to be leading off the parade.
When I look into your eyes, I see the whispers and the cries in the silence. You're a woman, I am too, no longer scared to tell you how I love you. Though those moments were apart seem so long, the love we share with each other keeps getting stronger. Now we speak more openly, dropping inhibitions isn't easy. Born with so much deep inside, it's hard to know just who we can confide in. Reflections of the sky sparkling brightly. You're a woman, I am too, no longer scared to tell you how I love you. You're a woman, I am, how I love you. You're a woman, I am, how I love you.
I grew up in a small town in northwest Kansas. And because of this location, it was impossible to be gay and be happy. So I got married and had a family and was moderately happy, nothing to get excited about, for 15 and a half years.
Did you have gay friends?
I did, but I didn't know it.
Any lovers?
No, none until after I came out. And that was in 75.
What caused you to come out?
I met a lady and talked with her and was able for the first time in my life to express my feelings without being laughed at or given dirty looks. And I just...
Was this in Kansas still?
No, this was down in Alabama for Army Reserve training.
Oh, wow.
And I also have a brother that is gay, and this helped a lot because I could talk with him. And I finally just decided I can't go on being miserable all my life, so I left my...
What was it that made you most miserable?
I think the lack of any total love. I loved my husband, but I wasn't in love with him. And I don't think I was ever in love until I met this one.
When did you meet Charlie?
In 1975, the same year I came out, just a few months later. And we've been together ever since.
Oh, far out. How'd you meet?
At a bar in Wichita. And
you met in Wichita?
Yes, I left the town I was raised in and left my husband and moved to Wichita.
What was it like to be gay in Wichita?
More freedom than most places in Kansas, but still very suppressed.
Doesn't sound like much.
No, it wasn't much. And if your employers found out you were gay, you lost your jobs.
Did you lose yours ever for being gay?
Yes, I lost several jobs for being gay. She's lost
repeat
jobs.
that question. Okay. Did you ever lose your job for being gay?
Yes, I did. Several of them. If they didn't actually come right out and say, you're gay and we don't want you, they would ask me if I was gay and I would say yes, and then they would just make the work so totally miserable that I would have to quit.
Sounds awful.
It was.
Yeah.
And we decided that we had to have more freedom to be ourselves, and we came to San Francisco.
You two came together to San Francisco?
Sold everything we owned. Wow. Come out here with $18 in our pocket and 2 suitcases.
Wow. That takes a lot of courage.
It did.
Are you gay?
Sure.
No, man.
Depends on what you mean by gay.
What's happening? Are you gay? No.
I don't know. I don't think I can classify myself.
Well, that's really none of your business.
Everyone is homosexual and heterosexual in the same body. Everyone is male and female in the same body.
But I meant gay? What do you mean by the word gay? It's what's in your head.
Are you gay?
Yes, I am.
Are you gay?
Yes.
Are you gay?
Yep.
Are you gay?
Yes, I am.
You?
Yes.
Are you gay?
Yes.
Are you gay? Having a good time? Are you gay?
Yes.
Having a good time?
Right on.
You bet. Are you gay?
Of course, why not?
Are you gay? Are you gay? Are you gay?
I definitely am gay, yeah.
You sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Of course.
I consider myself a bisexual person.
I'm sexually turned on to men and women, and also that I think I'm politically committed to men and women.
Yes, I am.
Yes, forever.
Well, I'm of every persuasion and type, and I don't think that popular myth should be limited to one particular viewpoint.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Are you straight?
Yeah.
I am. No?
No.
I could be, but I haven't had any experience.
No, well, I can't really restrict myself to just being gay. I'm not straight either. And I'm not bi, really. I consider myself pansexual.
Oh, yes, I am. Today I'm more than gay. Today I'm jubilant. Really?
Yes, I've been homosexual as far back as I can remember, which is a long way back, because I'm almost 60.
Have you been in San Francisco for long?
Yes, I've been in San Francisco since World War II.
Did anything in particular draw you out here to this city?
Well, San Francisco's always been an open city that everyone came to. It's the last frontier. And when I came out here with the Army, I decided this is where I belong. And I've never regretted that. It's a good place for a gay person, and it's a good place for everybody.
What do you think about what's happening right now behind us?
I think this is wonderful. I think this is the kind of show of individualism and of people power that we saw in other minority movements back in the 50s and 60s, and it's time now for gay people.
How does this parade compare with previous parades?
Well, the parades have changed over the years as gay consciousness has changed. The parades came about first as an anniversary of celebration or an anniversary statement after the Stonewall demonstrations in New York in Greenwich Village in 1969. At that time, the police had been harassing various bars, as they always have harassed gay bars over the years. And suddenly, there was a fighting back that occurred by a group of people who were at the bar in Greenwich Village. The people who fought back were not organized, they were not leaders of the gay community, they were just bar folks, and many of them representing the poorer elements of New York's gay life. Drag queens, street kids, bar people. And because they fought back and because other people joined them, a movement was forged. A movement that said, we're not going to put up with the kind of bullshit that we've been subjected to over so many years. And at that time, it became nationally important to recognize that event by some kind of annual parade. The first parades were aimed at gay liberation. They were aimed at the out of the closet into the street idea. And many people joined in those just on a kind of spontaneous personal basis. Households of people, individuals, couples, people were involved in coming out. And so being in the parade was a coming out event for a lot of people. There were also organizations. Some of the older gay organizations marched in the parades.
Other marches, the first march that I remember ever doing was Mattachine Society. There were only 4 women at that time. 4 women, wow. And the stipulations for the march were that we must not appear gay. We must, the men must wear business suits and the women must wear dresses and shoes.
What was the spectators' reaction to that march?
It was a mixture of hostility or indifference.
As the years went on, they became more celebrations, carnivals. So by 1972 or 3, political statements began to be less evident, and there began to be more of a sense of we're already out. We're not going to be invisible. We're not going to be silent. And we're going to celebrate our being out.
Gonna take my song down out of the attic. Gonna dust my shoes off, take them out of the closet. I'm gonna get that old time magic back. Gonna spend some time just the way that I ought to. Hope you like the song and the smile that I brought you. These lazy days are driving me crazy now. Great expectations. If I never told you, I think that you're pretty now. Could we take a walk down by the sea?
We're downtown just on a Sunday afternoon, and it's just a parade for the children to look at more than anything, to be quite honest with you.
May I ask you a really personal question? If one of your children came to you someday at the age of 15 or 16 and said, "Mom, I'm gay," what would you say to them?
If you want me to answer you seriously, that's a very, very difficult question to answer. It's as difficult as if one of my girls came to me and said, you know, Mom, I'm pregnant, when she'd be 15 or 16. I really don't know what I would say.
How do you feel about gay people? Are you...
They're people. They're humans, just like I am.
Do you know any gay people? Are they friends of yours?
We stayed with the guy last night. We just got in town 2 days ago, and we just got in. He offered us a place to stay, took us out to breakfast. It was great.
Was he cool?
Yeah, he didn't try to force himself on us, you know. That's his thing. Beautiful. I've been in the penitentiary, see. I know what it's about. Sometimes it's forced on you, but most of the time it isn't, you know. People are people.
Where are you from?
I'm from Denver, Colorado, originally.
How are things there as far as gay people? Do you know, or?
Well, they're more hypocritical there. They get mugged all the time, which isn't right, you know.
I saw a guy from work that I work with every day, and now I know why he tickles me all the time. Because he's gay, too. I'm really glad.
Gonna take my song down out of the attic. Gotta dust my shoes off, take them out of the closet. Gonna get that old time magic back.
You've never been to bed with a man, either of you?
No.
Where you been? Have you been living in the city all this time?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you ever get approached by men?
Sure. I've been approached by
What do you tell them?
Well, you know, I ain't ready for it yet.
27 years and you're not ready yet?
No, I'm not ready for it yet. But I ain't got nothing against it. I'm gonna spend some time just the way that I ought to. Hope you like the song and the smile that I brought you. These late days driving me crazy. Now, great expectations.
It's gotten rid of that hassle, you know, What hassle of hiding it from your parents, from your family, from your friends, this sort of thing. I think we should all begin by, okay, I'm gay, so what, you know. And have you been able to do that for your life? Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I slip once in a while, but then we all do.
Gonna take my song down out of the attic. Gonna dust my shoes off, take them out of the closet. Gonna get that old time magic back. Great expectations. Great expectations. We are
makes me angry to see gay people not coming together and hiding, fighting amongst themselves whenever they're in an organized group.
Do you think that's happening today?
Well, no, I think what's been happening recently is probably going to cause a lot of solidarity with the gay people. And it's going to help a lot of straight people to realize that we're not all in the closet and that we are here, we're a viable part of the community, and we're in all aspects of the community. We can't just sit back and expect other people to accept us. We've got to let it be known that we're here, and we're not going to change.
How long have you been out?
A couple of years now. At age 33, I finally ran into an old friend of mine and spent some time with her and couldn't understand what these strange new feelings were, and I suddenly said, oh my God, I think I'm sexually attracted to this woman. And I said, how do I feel about that? I thought about it for a while. I think I feel terrific about that. I think I'll give it a try. And I was scared to death, but being the kind of lady she was, it was a marvelous experience for me, and it opened up a whole new life. Actually, it opened up life to me because I had no idea that this existed in one's life experience. I meant the loving, the caring. I got in touch with for the first time in my life, I got in touch with a band. I got in touch with my femininity that I really was not aware that I had. I'd been pretty much androgynous most of my life. I've been married for 4 years. I had an affair for 4 years. But
Had you had any relationships with women before you were married?
I had none whatsoever. I'd never entertained the idea of having any relationships with women. I thought it was terrific for other people, but I never thought it applied to me. And when I ran into this old friend from 8 years ago and this happened, I says, my God, you know, I've been missing what happened. But I think being from the South, in a small community, I didn't even know what homosexuality was, so I had absolutely no validation for any feelings that I might have had coming up, like crushes on the gym teacher and that kind of thing. I had no idea.
Does your family know you're gay?
No, I say no. I've never talked to them about it. They think I'm strange and different, but I don't think they put homosexual or lesbian or gay person on me yet.
Like this parade was like a reaction, but this parade is bigger than any one reaction. So many people are saying, thank heavens Florida happened so that we could get together. This parade's bigger than that. You know, I think the sum is really bigger than all of its parts. And that's something no one could have predicted. The feeling that I'm feeling today, it's just like really incredibly powerful. And that's something new for me. You know, I didn't feel this way in the peace marches, and maybe because they weren't openly gay.
Because I wanted to see for myself the city of San Francisco show our nation and the world that we're not quite as ignorant and bigoted as they are in other parts. We both agreed that we have never seen such a large crowd and felt such good vibes.
I think I just like it. I enjoy it. And I think, you know, the gays should have given a freedom for their own.
Where are you from?
Philippines.
From the Philippines?
Yeah, but I think I'm for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
A gay man, 50 years old, spent 30 days in jail one time for no other reason than I was gay. To see this day, I want to cry. It's beautiful. It's fantastic to see our kids free. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank God they're out. They won't need shrinks.
My world, the life I freely chose. My world, it has its highs and lows. The sun, it makes the day bright. The moon lights up the nighttime sky. The day ends in my world. Tonight I ask why. Why did I choose a life where blues are ordinary? Co-confusion is the rule of thumb. Why did I say yes to being gay? What was that feeling? Where did it come from? Why did I take a life where there's so much at stake? A life that takes sure strength to be not sad. Why did I say yes to being gay? Why did I choose a choice I never had? my heart, a part that feels so ordinary, strength and sharing with another man. It's taken long to hear the song that brings me nearer to myself. I'm just the way I am. I've opted for a life spent loving with my brothers, a full accepting love I've never had. It's strange to say, but now since yesterday, I'm not only gay, I'm glad.
Separation of church and state is not a new idea, but a lot of people would like to forget it. Big churches, maybe not the members, but the churches for sure have always backed pretty repressive ideas, wars, burning witches, having the Crusades, the Spanish Inquisition.
The Bible makes it quite clear that sex of any and all kinds aside for the specific purpose of procreation is immoral, decadent, and degrading. And so morally, there is no difference whatsoever between two guys having sex or two women having sex and straight sex using any kind of birth control at all. In short, fun sex is degrading and decadent, weakening and childish and unproductive.
Well, you could use the Bible to defend any position if you just take one little portion of it or one excerpt.
The Bible says the wages of sin are death. A man was not intended to enjoy his senses.
For Christianity, again, it's hard to say, this probably offends people, but Christianity very often is against people. It's against pleasure. And I don't think that this is necessarily what the teachers intended. And even if it was, they're not necessarily my teachers.
God loves homosexuals just like he loves everyone else. He just wants them to turn to him and stop the sin.
This country has a constitution, which is the primary law, not the Bible, not the Quran, not somebody's idea of what's good and what's bad.
I feel like many of these people, if they had a good preacher, if they had somebody tell them about Jesus the way that it would help them, I feel like it wouldn't be as hard as it is.
It's right there in the Constitution, freedom of religion. And you can't have freedom of religion if you have religion in the law. It's just impossible. It's more or less this time about religion and how it's being used to hurt people rather than for what it's really supposed to be intended about. At least the teachers that most of us respect, Christ and all the others, keeping religion out of the laws. And I mean, the law here is the Constitution. It's not the Bible or the Quran or anything else. It's the Constitution. Well, we at least have the right to our own bedroom, and we have the right to not be forced to accept someone else's religious ideas on our personal lives. I mean, I guess religion gets into things like murder and stuff like that. We kind of all agree we don't want that. But there's certainly differences here, and religion has no place in Congress or in city government or anything like that.
So you're saying you want a separation of church and state?
Definitely, definitely. We've been promised that a long time now, and I hope we finally get it. I think maybe what's happening is coming to a head. For a long time, you didn't even have the right not to have children. I mean, there were laws in a lot of states about contraception. That wasn't even your right because of certain powerful churches that decided that it's evil in their eyes and that they have to prevent everyone else from doing it.
But sometimes doesn't preaching against a certain group of people incite violence against them?
Many people are of a violent nature, as in this instance of killing this one man the other day, are very, very wrong, more wrong than the sin of the other person, whatever that was.
A week ago, I was walking down the street, and these three black kids passed me, and one of them bumped me in the arm and called me a faggot, you know, and with that sort of hostility running rampant.
What was your reaction to that incident?
I was really upset about it. I felt hurt, but I was also angry.
Last week,
I got on the bus one day with a friend of mine, and I went to sit down, and there were about 4 black teenage youths in the back of the bus, and they started yelling faggot and harassing us, and I just kind of froze because I was really torn between fear and anger. I experienced it right at Market and Castro Street, which is supposed to be the center of the gay community, in a sense. And if it can happen there, it certainly will happen anywhere else in the city. And days like this, we feel very united and we feel safe and secure. And yet I feel that there is a threat.
I understood you to say at some time earlier that you were married. Is that correct?
I was married for 5 years. I have 2 daughters, and they live in it. They know that I'm gay, and they're very accepting of that situation. And I hope that they remain so.
I'm on the Jean Julian Defense Committee, and we're trying to familiarize people with the case, and we've been selling food to raise money for her legal fees.
Tell us a little bit about Jean Julian's case.
Jean Julian is a lesbian mother from Oakland, and her husband has recently taken her children away. She's had a trial, and an appeal has gone in already, and the judge has dismissed both summarily without reading it and has put gag orders on the whole case. So the appeal is now going to the Supreme Court, and we're trying to help her raise $12,000 for a defense.
How much money have you raised today, do you know?
Over 1,000.
We're representing all the women that can't afford to be here because we feel that there are millions of lesbian women that are really locked at home in dependent relationships with men, you know, because they depend on them for money, and so they can't come out, you know, to a parade like this.
Do you think that there are a lot of lesbian mothers who are afraid to come out because their children will be taken away from them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the whole Save Our Children campaign has been a real attack on lesbian women and on lesbian mothers, you know, real attempt to push us back into the home and force us to choose between being lesbian and having children at all.
How do you feel about the word dyke?
Dyke, I don't like it. Walking down the street, I heard some women even say, hey, yeah, right on, beautiful dykes. I don't like the word. I won't respond to it. I'm a woman.
What do you think about the word dyke?
Dyke? I like dykes. I'm a dyke. And
do you think people use that word negatively?
I don't.
Do you?
No, I don't. I like the...
Having a good time?
Oh, yeah.
Good parade?
Yes, very good.
Good parade?
Yeah, real good parade.
Very high.
Very high.
Very high,
really. Are you gay?
No, but I'm all for their rights.
Straight for the rights.
All right. You having a good time?
Fantastic.
Got another beer?
Nothing like it.
You from San Francisco?
Oh, yes, sir.
Are you gay?
Sure.
Having a good time?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived out here?
Oh, 50 years.
Things changed a lot in that time?
Oh, boy, and how.
For the better?
For the better.
For the better.
For the
Far
better.
out.
What do you think of the parade today?
It's wild. Nowhere else in San Francisco could I say that this could take place. It's just fantastic.
And I'm glad everyone here, and I wish, you know, a lot more people could come and just see the great feeling that is going around.
How did the two of you get together?
Well, first time was at the Castro Theater. We were watching a movie, and we saw each other and just, you know, then second time we just started sitting together, and so it just worked out.
If I love someone, I don't want to say, I love you, but I cannot touch you, because, you know, feeling is also very important. We are very sensitive, all of us.
What brought you out here?
Friction between family life in Kansas, and just more relaxed out here.
Did you find problems with being gay there?
You can't show any feelings at all, or they just sort of, you know, crucify you. They just don't like that out there.
I believe that people should be able to relate to people and communicate with people and not draw lines because you happen to be male or female. And, you know, because we are here for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's what I want.
Do you think you're going to stay around in San
Yeah, I'll be
Francisco?
living in San Francisco. Hopefully for quite a while.
I love a man who is just tender enough, and sometimes slightly rough when we make love. We know each other's needs and try to be there. The sun rises in the sky when we're together, like blue through thick and thin and stormy weather. I like him, I respect him. He's a man. He is like a dancer. He is a silk scarf in the wind. He comes to me and grace, my arms are open. Sometimes for hours not a word is spoken, just good old-fashioned touching with affection. Oh, people sometimes look in our direction with not a word to say, in quiet dismay. I think that they're giving their approval. Our time is like a flower. When I'm with him all in bloom, he walks into the room, my heart starts beating. I've memorized the way he has of greeting me, the powerful embrace of two men longing to hold each other till the new day dawning. It is real to me and more of a challenge than a bore to keep our manly separate souls together.
Now there's your story. Okay, somebody fell in love with me when I was 18. A woman did. But I didn't actually come out till I was 21, almost 22.
Well, I guess because I became intensely interested, I was very curious about having sex with women.
And that yet back east, especially women are into the male-female dichotomy, and so that was even harder because I knew what I wanted, but it was mostly in West Coast terms, but I was still stuck on the East Coast at that time.
At first I was really curious and excited, and then I got very freaked out. And I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I didn't know anybody at all. I mean, I didn't know anybody that was gay. And so I was very freaked out about me being gay. Like, I just could not see a future in it at all.
That came out for women, and that blew sky high, and so I had to find my own reasons for being here in California. It just means a lot to me as a person.
Then, I don't know, I was also very curious as well as being very sympathetic. So one time I asked her, Ann, tell me, what's it like to make love with a woman? And she said, well, you know, I can't tell you what that's like. You can only find that out. I went, ah!
This is 3 lovers later, and no, my lover, due to economic whatever, is working in Bakersfield for the summer.
A couple of weeks later, this friend of mine and her lover asked me if I wanted to sleep with them, and I was married at the time to a man.
Really difficult because they're into roles, and that was some of my hang-up, is that I'm not into roles, and being gay for me is a whole political power type situation.
I don't really know how to talk about what it's like. I guess it's like to love. I mean, the woman that I'm involved with right now, I guess, I don't know why I love her, but I do.
She loves me, wants to give and take care of me. Well, I found you, the one who says she needs me. I'll take care of you. I found you. You were right here all the time. I found good to love again, to love again. This love that slept silently waiting, never a hint of a dream in the making. She awoke, I believe she's gone astray. No use to stop her, let love have a way. I found you the one who says she loves me, wants to give and take care of me. Well, I found you the one who says she needs me. I'll take care of you. Let's try a chance. It's sweet romance. Feels so good to love again. To love again. Love again. Love again. Love again. Love again.
I came because I'm proud of being gay, and I wanted to let people know that. And I thought the more of us, I mean, I knew also it was going to be incredible high. I mean, there's no way that you can see this many gay people together ever any other time of the year. And it's such a freeing thing, because, you know, usually you walk around, you can be gay, but, you know, most people don't know you are, and if they know you are, you assume that they hate you for it. And here you can walk around and people love you for it, you know, and you can love them for it. Well, the straight people here are for gay rights, and a lot of them are our friends in some ways, you know, I mean, like, they're not afraid. In some ways, of course, they don't have to be as afraid as gay people do, because they aren't going to get it. I'm digging the fact that this is the first time I've ever been with this many men, and I have not been afraid, and I have not been hassled. And to be able to be out in the streets with this many people and not be afraid of them, physically or mentally, you know, is just, it's never happened to me before in my life, except maybe at the lesbian conference, but that was with women, right? And this is like being in the real world, the whole real world, and not having to be separate, and being able to be yourself. You can't beat it.
For the straight folks who don't mind gays but wish they weren't so blatant. You know, some people got a lot of nerve. Sometimes I don't believe the things I see and hear. Have you met the woman who's shocked by two women kissing and in the same breath tells you that she's pregnant? But gays shouldn't be blatant. Or this straight couple sits next to you in a movie and you can't hear the dialogue because of the sound effects. But gays shouldn't be blatant. And the woman in your office spends your whole lunch hour talking about her new bikini drawers and how much her husband likes them. But gays shouldn't be blatant. Or the hip chick in your class rattling a mile a minute while you're trying to get stoned in the john about the camping trip she took with her musician boyfriend. But gays shouldn't be blatant. You go in a public bathroom and all over the walls there's John loves Mary, Janice did Richard, Pepe loves Dolores, etc. But gays shouldn't be blatant. Or you go to an amusement park and there's a tunnel of love and pictures of straights painted on the front and grinning couples coming in and out, but gays shouldn't be blatant. The fact is, blatant heterosexuals are all over the place. Supermarkets, movies, at work, in church, in books, on television every day and night, every place, even in gay bars. And they want gay men and women to go hide in the closets. So to you straight folks, I say, sure, I'll go if you go too, but I'm polite, so after you.
Well, right now I'm employed as a nursery school teacher for the Cross Cultural Family Center here in San Francisco, and I work with 2-, 3-, and 4-year-old children as a teacher.
And they have for as long as I've been out, and maybe for as long as I'm aware of being gay. That was a question with my desired ballet training as a kid. My mother's best friend said that I'd be a silly little faggot, so I didn't get ballet training. I would have wanted to. I'm sorry I didn't now. It would have been nice preparation.
Oh, I just enjoy it so much. I just love being with little children, and I love sharing my love with little children. Watching them run and jump and grow, it's been a sheer joy, just a joy.
I'm from San Diego, and with the exception of friends I've made since I've been here, most of my friends here are San Diego gay men. And we moved pretty well on for that reason, because it wasn't possible there, we didn't feel it was possible, to be comfortably gay, be where we are and be gay, and stay there. So we split. This is the place to be, to do that.
Living in San Francisco has been a real saving grace for that. I found problems with it as a junior high school teacher in Rochester, New York. That's one of the reasons that led me to come out here. I used to teach junior high school. For 5 years, I was a junior high school art teacher in upstate New York. Was in the closet, was feeling very dissatisfied with myself. And then I came out to visit San Francisco and saw everyone loving everyone else and saw so much openness, and I just knew I had to be here.
Yeah, I guess it's because I'm gay. I haven't ever been straight, so I don't know how I would relate to this if I were straight.
Because I have beautiful relationships with their parents as well. For the first time in my life, I could live as an open gay person and can totally be myself. I could be as flashy as I want, and I could be as conservative as I want.
Well, here's the story. When I was 4 years old, I used to put blocks in my socks because I always wanted to wear high heels. And I used to do it very secretively, you know. Well, I came to San Francisco, and I found out that it was really okay, and I wear my high heels on days like today because I've always wanted to wear high heels. You know, I think it's okay, you know, it's perfectly all right to wear high heels. I get a little flack now and again, but I can handle it, I hope.
My feeling is about drag, it's degrading to women. And I don't pretend to understand what motivates the men to do that, but I know that the whole society mocks women at the same time that it pushes them into that role. And I think that there are women still all over the country, all over the world, suffering from trying to be that stereotype and being taught continually that that's what they're to be. And then to see men just getting off on it and knowing that they're not stuck with the oppression that goes with it, that they're just having a good time. They can take off their dress and their makeup and just be free of that role. It's really, to me, it's a very, very heavy issue.
Oh, I love it. I made a decision a long time ago not to do anything I didn't feel good about, to have a good time, to have fun. I mean, it's the only thing worth doing.
Really, I haven't taken any time to deal with drag queens or men who are into drag because I find it offensive.
Drag is just the tool that you use to express who you are. And in terms of clothes, some people wear leather, some people wear feathers, some people wear sequins, some people wear Levi's. It's all drag. It's all a tool to tell other people who you are.
I like outrageousness, you know, like I like punk rock and I like crazy things, but I'm a punk rock freak. But drag is somewhat offensive to me.
And I think that when you're having a good time, people relate to that goodness, even if it's not their style.
When I see men dressed up as Anita Bryant lookalikes, and which is what they're doing most of the time in a very offensive way, because there's no description for womanhood in my mind.
It runs from all sorts. I mean, people love it, people hate it, the same way that people love or hate you no matter what. But it's a focusing device, you know? It's like a magnifying glass. It just makes it clearer, it makes it bigger in your eyes. And I still relate to people, hopefully, as I would relate to them outside of this dress and this feathers and these makeup.
Or into what?
Into it as a giggle. I talked to a guy at the thing we went to last Sunday, and it's just a giggle.
Yeah, because it's fun. There's also a political sentiment behind it. I mean, I feel a victim of sexism, and I think to understand what I am victimized about, I have to understand what sex is all about, both as a homosexual, as relating to women, sex in the terms of the clothes that they wear and stuff. This helps me feel androgynous or hermaphrodite. I mean, it makes me feel like a whole person instead of just half a person, just like I'm part of the whole human race rather than just half of it.
In tyrannical societies, in oppressive societies, in fascist societies, people are taught to dress alike. People are forced to dress alike, to act alike, to perform alike, as opposed to follow their inner needs, their inner wants, their own emotions. And it's easier to control people when you don't relate to them on an individual level. All you're relating to them as an image. I'm an individual human being, and I want to express that. I want to express the truth inside of me. I mean, everybody is different, and if they express that differentness, then people don't automatically fall into line and start automatically taking orders and automatically not question what superiors, quote, unquote, are telling them to do. And when everybody looks alike, then you're just assuming that everybody is exactly like you, so you can take all these liberties with them, as opposed to seeing that people are into different trips. When you look at mass demonstrations in totalitarian societies, I mean, where you see as many people as there are here today, you don't get a sense of the individual. You don't get a sense that these are real people there. You see herds of sheep. I mean, the basis of racism and sexism and ageism is seeing people as not individuals, but seeing them as part of a group, seeing them as stereotypes, you know, a faggot or a nigger or dirty old man. You begin not to think of people as individuals. People dress alike, people talk alike, people raise their hands at the same time. When people are just being themselves, you begin to see that there's this whole diversity. Seeing all these people today just gives one a sense of confidence that that kind of thing could never happen again, because there's this whole spectrum of people around, and certainly some of us are not going to let that happen again.
I notice a lot of people wearing pink triangles today.
Well, the pink triangle has come into use in recent years as an identification with the gay individuals who were imprisoned in Nazi Germany and who were forced to wear a pink triangle signifying their homosexuality. The sad fact of gay history during that time is that very few people, either then or even now, realize how many or hundreds of thousands of gay individuals were rounded up, thrown into concentration camps, and killed, executed summarily or worked to death. The homosexual population in Germany was one of the first populations that was subjected to genocide. In fact, some of the methods of extermination that were used later had first been tried out on gay individuals. Gay people must learn their own history. Many people wear the pink triangle and probably have little idea of how horrible the history of that triangle is.
If you could invite one gay person from any period of history, who would you like to see here today?
Well, I wouldn't want to say any one person. I mean, I can think of lots and lots of people that I wish were here. I wish all...
Well, I think I would like to see Alexander the Great. After reading The Persian Boy, I think it would be a beautiful history lesson to see that man strutting down the street with the sunlight glinting off of his armor.
I wish all the Amazons were here that raise so much ruckus.
Herman Melville.
I'd like to have Jesus Christ. I'm pretty convinced he was gay. Far out. I mean, any man that has no women, and the secret, you know, who can say? We know he had no women. It says that in the Bible. It never mentions no men. So I think probably he was gay. I mean,
I think he'd enjoy the parade.
I think he would definitely enjoy the parade. You'd see a lot of people dressed like him for sure. I wish Sappho was here and all her friends, and
I think James Baldwin, if he's gay.
I wish Diana the Huntress was here.
Probably Buster Crabbe, you know. Nowadays he could still be in his movies. Back then they kicked him out of his movie contract for being gay.
Bessie Smith.
Well, I think Andre Gide would be the man I was thinking about today as I was going along. When I was a student, Andre Gide, the great French man of letters, was an inspiration and a model because he was open about his gayness, although it was a struggle for him. And he would have liked taking to the streets. He was a man of the streets as well as a man of letters. The spectacle of today, with all of the thousands and thousands and thousands of people on the streets in San Francisco and in other major cities, is that it's a statement to everyone in the world that there are gay people, that there is a gay life, that there is a gay community. For the young person somewhere feeling very much alone, this kind of statement does away with that terrible sense of isolation and loneliness. We used to have an expression that so-and-so was not for streetwear, meaning you couldn't walk down the street with them without being somewhat identified as a gay person. And if you were trying to keep a cover, if you were trying to maintain a job or live in a community where you didn't want people to know you were gay, there were certain people you couldn't associate with. But those people we always knew were serving us a purpose. They gave us a screen behind which we could hide. And therefore it's very important in today's gay parade that there be individuals who are blatant, who are obvious, who are outrageous, because they've always been there. The drag queens, the hair fairies, the people who by their behavior said, I'm so gay, I can't cover it up. And then the rest of us could stand on the sidelines and let the rest of the world think that that's what a gay person looked like. And today, we join them and hold hands.
People together, people is one. All people stand, take your lives in your hands. Freedom for all soon shall be won, soon shall be won. Gaze all together, joined hand in hand, all of you stand, take your lives in your hands. Woman with woman, man with man. Gaze with the straight folks, the old with the young, all people stand, take your lives in your hands. Freedom for all soon shall be won. The dark-skinned and light-skinned, all not just some, all people stand, take your lives in your hands. Freedom for all soon shall be won. From seacoast to seacoast, all over the land, all people stand, take your lives in your hands. A curtain of people, hand in hand. People together, people as one. All people stand, take your lives in your hands. Freedom for all soon shall be won, soon shall be won, soon shall be won.
Once in a while, love may come to bring you a smile as you go. For living is all that you have, and loving is all that you know. And I'm so glad that I'm loving you. Where would I be right now? Taking myself as I am, to do. But maybe I'd be something